All right, tubers. Let's try this one more time. I apologize. I don't know what is going on with the internet today. Let me know if you guys can see this and if it's watchable. Anybody there? Everybody seeing this yet? All right, we'll give it a minute. Much better. Good. Excellent. Yeah, it must have just been a glitch with YouTube. All right, so we are back. Still trying to get over whatever the heck this thing is. I drank a whole bunch of water before I started this, so I don't know what the heck's going on. But yeah, we are back. Actually got 7 likes on the other one, even though it was atrocious. I know, quality-wise, right? What are you going to do? Give people a few minutes to get here. And towards the end, I looked like a robot on the other one. I don't know what the heck was going on there. Everybody's getting here. We got Hired Gun. Hey, look better. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I can actually move. I don't look like I'm doing the robot from those 80s music videos. You know the one I'm talking about, those of you that are old enough. Eric says, right now I'm not doing any videos because my sinus stuff is inflamed at the moment. Hey, you're preaching to the choir. I honestly, buddy, it's the same thing with me. My sinuses are totally stuffed up. Been trying to expel whatever this is, but it keeps coming back. I don't know. Who else is here? Ruben is here. Stephen Barber is here. Munchie Madness Gaming. I love that name. I'm thinking about changing the name of this channel. And Matt M. Roy, everybody knows, but I really think I need something a little bit more catchy. Yes, Munchie Madness Gaming did make me a logo, and I will show you guys. I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to do anything with that yet. As busy as it's been, but I'll get to it, I promise. No, Hired Gun. No, this is hardwired in. I'm gonna end this conversation. I'm just gonna chalk it up to a YouTube glitch, and that's it. It's working now. I ain't gonna worry about it. Yeah. I restarted this computer about a day ago. Yeah, that's it. Moving on. All right. So you know what I forgot to do? I was going to light one of these candles. So let me go ahead and do that real quick, and hopefully we'll get some more questions and comments into the queue. Boy, these things are hard to open. Let me go grab just a lighter or something, but love that smell. I had a really small lighter before, but I only have this thing now. And actually, these are pretty good. I get these at Dollar Tree. And they're made they're made in China by Coleco. Coleco Brands. I wonder if that has anything to do with the old Coleco video game systems. I kid you not. If you don't believe me, you can see. Hopefully it'll focus on there. It may not. Come on, get me a focus here. Yeah, I guess it's not going to focus, but it actually says made by Coleco Brands. So let's light her up. On these, you have to push this forward to get it to light. Go take this light and light your world. Refreshing. Put that right next to my cell phone, but not too close. Hey, Matt. Mark Covington's here. How was your Christmas? My father and I had Christmas dinner at Pocosin, where one of my cousins and her family lives. Oh, that's so nice. Having dinner with your family, spending time with your family, and not necessarily your close family, even your extended family. Like we had my godparents down for Christmas, and that was awesome. We had a real fun time. Eric says it was weird. The one stream I did, sounded and video was nearly perfect, but about 40 minutes in and had the sound went insane. Yeah, honestly, glitches like that happen a lot, and it could be anything. It could have been one of your sticks of RAM was acting up. May even been a glitch on the hard drive, but what's the old saying? You can't cry over spilled milk, and that's definitely true. Ruben says, remember, guys, the HP Compact Elite 8300 USDT video review is coming out tomorrow. Save the date. I will, and because I'm subscribed to your channel, I should get a notification about that. Excuse me 1 second. Did it. I didn't forget it. I just didn't have it in front of me. I386 says, I got an old HP Media Center PC with XP Media Center. I got the TV tuner working, but no channels because it's analog. Well, there is a way around that. I mean, you could hook up a digital TV converter box, but you'd have to tune it with the box. Basically, what you would do is you tune your Media Center program to channel 3 or 4. Then you just turn the box on, and that's how you would receive the digital over-the-air broadcasts. Still pretty cool nonetheless. XP Media Center Edition was a really cool edition of XP. The actual, basically, the difference between that and XP Home is the Media Center software. You open it up. Not only could you tune in TV stations, a lot of times you could actually tune in FM and AM radio if your HP computer was so equipped. A lot of them were. They came with 2 antennas, one for the TV signals and one for the AM FM portion. Not only that, you could actually record live TV. It could actually be a DVR, and it worked pretty well. I sold a lot of those computers back when I worked at Best Buy, and I know a few people this day that are still using them. I386 says, I think there is one low power, ultra high frequency station, but I cannot get it. Yeah, a lot of areas have that. We have one, I think it's like channel 23 or 24 or something. Basically, anything over channel 13 is considered UHF. No, wait a minute. I'm wrong here. UHF and VHF. It's VHF that's a very high frequency, isn't it? I'll have to look that up. Yeah, it's been so many years since I did this, but I know 1 to 13. Somebody help me out here. 1 to 13 was VHF, and then everything higher than that was UHF, I think. Let me look that up. Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. VHF were the lower stations. So VHF was 2 to 13, and UHF was the ultra high frequency. So that was 14 to 83. Okay, got it. Yeah, I get it. I thought that's what was confusing me when you said very high frequency and you meant to say ultra high frequency, because I knew that VHF, at least in the back of my mind, I knew that was just reversed. There's the UHF reference. Eric Brunhammer was the one that did it. We got it all on UHF. If you've never seen that movie, it's funny as can be. Weird Al Yankovic. Who would have thought? Great singer turned decent actor. And I say decent actor because he would only work in that role for him. I mean, it worked because it was a zany movie, and yeah, he was good in it. But pretty much in any other role, nah. Weird Al is definitely not a good actor. Don't change the channel. Don't touch that dial. We got it all on UHF. Kick off your sneakers. Stick around for a while. How'd that sound? My good announcer voice? It'd be better if I didn't have all these allergy problems right now. I could finish a whole one of these just to clear my throat, honestly. I mean, it's getting that bad. Oh, we're losing watchers here. Everybody going to sleep early or something? At least you got 4 likes. I can't believe it glitched like that. I don't know what the heck's going on. We still got 8 likes on the old video. That's funny. I think that the spammers and the haters and the trolls, I should say, got to my vlog the other day, you know, getting ready for a long, long day. I have 16 likes, but I have 13 dislikes. And it's funny, though. It seems like the only videos that are getting really disliked are the vlog videos. And granted, they're not the most interesting videos, but I try to put things out there for you guys as much as I can. And some days, that's just the kind of video I can do. Let me see. Ruben says, I'm not sleeping right now, so I can survive through this live stream. Is it that bad? I'm sorry. Again, I'm not on my A game right now. Like Eric said, I am having the worst problem with these allergies, and all this rain and the warm temperatures are definitely not helping at all. Stephen Barber says, I'm watching you and Carrie on Tech Vets at the same time. Nice. He's interesting. Carrie Holzman, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He does a lot of computer builds live. I'd love to eventually get a setup like he does, and might come in the near future. The Lazy Fish Keeper says, hey, nice to see you. Oh, apparently I-386, the FM does work. It's in good condition, getting a station almost 80 miles away. I do remember them getting very good reception. I think that has a lot to do with the software and, of course, the actual power coming from the computer. Because when you think about the power that the internal power supply can supply to that tuner card versus a regular like transistor radio, it boggles the mind. I mean, you're looking at a transistor radio that might have at most a 9-volt battery, whereas a computer power supply can put out, what, 300-400 watts. So, I mean, it definitely helps. It definitely helps for sure. Ruben says, the Sears in Hampton just started to close, and I watched the live stream in post-production. Yeah, that one's really sad. That mall has been struggling for years. Actually, there were 2 malls up there. There was the New Market Fair Mall, which is the one that Sears is in. And then there was another one, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but that other mall was torn down, and now it's a Burlington Coat Factory and a Marshalls. And now the New Market Fair Mall was actually turned into a what do you call it? Like a campus, like a working campus for not like telemarketers, but like tech support people. There's only a small section of the mall by the Sears that actually you're allowed to go in, and there's a Piccadilly's restaurant there, and then there's some kind of soul food restaurant. Then there's just like a little vestibule where you can sit down. So now that the Sears is gone, I can only assume that the rest of the mall will probably follow. I think what they're probably going to do is the next center, whatever it's called, is going to take over the whole rest of the mall. Stephen Barber says, those fire extinguishers are outdated. I can't believe they're being used. Those are not up to code, which means the building wasn't up to code. I would have loved to see the fire alarm system. Yeah, I'm sorry. I filmed as much as I could, as much as I felt comfortable filming. I was afraid that I was going to get kicked out, and because I hadn't done my shopping yet, I didn't want that to happen. Very interesting, though, about those fire extinguishers. I agree with you. They were extremely outdated. That Sears opened in the 1970s, and I wouldn't be surprised to have learned that those fire extinguishers were from when that store first opened. But if you look closer, the inspection stickers on them were up to date. At least I think the one I looked at, it was inspected back in February of 2018. So I don't know. I guess they were still good, even though they were old. Now, granted, if I worked there, would I want to trust one of those fire extinguishers for my life? Probably not, but apparently they were still working. I'll tell you one thing, they're not going to get much money for them, not ones that are that old. 13 watchers and 5 likes. Hey, we got a few people back. That's awesome. I want to thank you guys for sticking with me through that glitch. I don't know what the heck was going on there. Sarah Carricker says, good evening, everyone. Stephen Barber. They have to be replaced every other year when it comes to that stuff. Just ask me. Well, again, I'm not an expert when it comes to fire extinguishers and fire alarms, but they did have a current inspection sticker on there. So I don't know. I guess they were doing the best they could. You got to remember, Sears has been struggling for a long time. So a lot of things in those stores are going to be put to the wayside, like fire extinguishers. I'm sure that a lot of the fixtures in there, and they were like, when you look at the fixtures that were upstairs, a lot of that stuff was outdated, 70s and 80s, especially those tables, those fold-up wooden tables that had like the faux, I want to say it's walnut, like a maple finish on it. Those were straight out of the 1980s. So they did the best they could for as long as they could, but a store that's millions of dollars in debt is not going to spend money on things that they really don't need, things that they should have. But if they absolutely don't need them, they're not going to spend money on it. I386 says, my first computer came from Sears. I'll bet it was a Compaq. I remember Sears sold a lot of Compaq Presarios back in the day, and I think they dabbled in Packard Bells as well. But those are the only two computers that I ever saw being sold, at least in our Sears. Crumbs, I made it to one. LOL, Max O'Neill. Funny, real funny. Our Christmas, at least my Christmas, was really good. I hope everybody else had a really good Christmas and got everything their hearts desired. I didn't really get that much because I really didn't want that much, to be honest with you. I got a few candles. I got, let's see what else. I got a bunch of batteries. And that was honestly about it. And that's all I really wanted. So, yeah, at least I got what I wanted. That one record, the Aladdin record, the vinyl record with the face on it, the I don't know what you call them, portrait record. We still haven't been able to find it. I'm going to try and search online a little bit more and see if I can find that somewhere. Ruben says, during the live stream, he's referring to the one I did at Sears, I just noticed that the abandoned Sears upstairs has some Dell Optiplex computers, but I'm not sure it is going to be sold. You are correct. As a matter of fact, when I went downstairs, I asked one of the managers about their computer systems because I noticed they had probably about 5 or 6 of them up there. Those were the information kiosks, and they had about another 10 of them downstairs. And the manager told me that is the one thing they're not going to sell. Sears is in such bad shape financially, they're actually going to repurpose those in other stores. Now, bearing in mind, those were Dell Optiplex 780s from about 2010, 2011, so they're not really worth that much anyway. But because Sears is doing so bad financially, they're actually going to take those old computers and they're going to put them in the few remaining stores that are still there. Compaq for $1,800, Windows 98. Yep, I figured as much. I had another choice, Packard Bell, at $1,000 with Windows 95. Sometimes I wish I would have got the Packard Bell. You're better off with the Compaq. I know I'm going to get some hate for this, and I don't really care. Packard Bells are junk. They were the worst of the worst. They're cool looking. I'll give them that. They're all plastic case, and they're two-tone gray and white. Yeah, that was kind of nostalgic, but they were total garbage. They were actually sued, like Dell was back in the day, for using refurbished and second-hand and refurbished parts. They had this weird thing where they actually integrated the modem and the sound card together, and certain models, and I think these were like the ones that were made around 1994, 1995, you would actually get a hum through the speakers, and that was because you were actually getting it from the modem. More specifically, when you were online with the modem and the modem was doing its modulation, you could actually hear that through the speaker. So if you were doing something like listening to an early MP3 or I should say a WAV file online with your Packard Bell, chances are it would sound something like this while you were hearing the music. And there were other things too. That their fit and finish on their cases were not that great. Everything was held in with clips that were way too easy to break the first time you removed the case. They were a disaster. And again, I know I'm going to get some hate for it, but I really don't care. That's my opinion on Packard Bell computers. Now, I will say this. Pre-Windows 95, so we're talking 1993 to early 94 and before that time, Packard Bell had some decent computers like the one that I have in the other room, the one you guys have probably all seen by now. They weren't the greatest quality, but at least they used an all-metal, mostly metal case, and they didn't have all these little plastic bits that every time you went to take the case apart, the clips would break, and then you'd have to tape them back together or glue them back together. And, of course, gluing them wasn't a good option because if you had to take the computer apart again, how are you going to get it apart? So generally double-sided tape was my mode of repairing those back in the day. Eric said, I was told that it was a piece of blank, 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 blank by someone because I put a vanilla version of Windows 95 on it and took out the modern modem sound card. So many people out there need to get a life. Seriously. I mean, yeah, there are some purists out there that want to see these computers kept as pure as possible, but it's a Packard Bell. It was a piece of junk when it rolled off the assembly line. So get over it. I mean, come on. I386 says, that reminds me, I was at my friend's once. There was an AM radio station, towers across the road. The station would feed back over his speakers. Interesting. Didn't know that was a problem, but when you think about it, AM has a real low modulation. So static is very prevalent, and if you're too far away, you get a lot of static. And I would think the reverse is true as well if you're too close. So yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. Ruben asked, "Hey Matt, does Sears sell refurbished computers?" I don't think they sell computers at all anymore, to be honest with you. Chucks a Dell Optiplex off a cliff. I don't think I get that one. No, I'm not picking my nose. I got a little itch right there. I'm getting some really bad dry skin right now. Oh, yeah. Eric Brunhammer's telling me in detail, as much detail as he's willing to, about who it was. And I kind of figured it was him. I'm not going to name drop here because that's not fair to them. But yeah, I get it. Boy, I tell you, can't wait until these allergies are done. Someone threw a Dell Optiplex off a cliff and it still works. I wouldn't doubt it. They are bulletproof. I'm telling you, I still say the Dell Optiplex, and to a lesser extent the Dell Vostro class computers, are some of the best you can buy. Yeah, HP Pro Series systems, HP Compact Business class computers are good too, but they don't hold a card, in my opinion, to Dell Optiplex. Tony T is asking me about a Samsung S2 watch that he ordered. I honestly, I really can't tell you because I don't know. I don't follow that kind of technology. I do cell phones to some extent, but not the niche watches. To me, that's a niche market. A lot of people don't even get them anymore because you have this. I mean, it's just easy enough to pull this out, in my opinion, to look at the time. But I'm kind of biased when it comes to that because I can't wear watches. I have poor circulation in my hands, so if I wear a watch, my hand will start to turn blue and I'll lose feeling in it. So I actually can't wear watches. I-36 says that AM station has a translator to FM, so I'm guessing they are now not worried. I guess I'm going to say not worried about the AM. But they have to keep it on because of the translator laws with FCC. Yeah, the FCC does some weird things like that. Like if you're transferring your station from AM to FM, like you have an AM station, you get an FM station for that same station. A lot of times they won't actually let you decommission the AM station, and I could tell you that's happened here because there are quite a few stations that operate on AM and FM, and it is exactly the same station. I don't know. I think eventually they'll probably amend those rules because what's the point of keeping the AM station if you're on FM? FM sounds so much better, and it's easier to pick up. Goes further. Max O'Neill, my Pentium 4 hyper-threaded upgrade to a Pentium D, the Optiplex 620. Yep, they're diehard. They're bulletproof. The only thing that doesn't is the awful Western Digital Blue drive that it came with. Well, you could throw an SSD in there. That wouldn't be a problem. Not bad, 3550. Tony T says, yes, Dell Optiplexes are good machines. JCPenney or JCP, we have some 620s with Pentium 4 2.8 gigahertz processors, non-hyper-thread, I'm assuming, that I maintain 1 to 2 times a year, still running strong. Yeah, they're diehard. Though I will say this, you're lucky that they're the 2.8 gigahertz Pentium 4s. Okay, they are hyper-thread. They could go either way. They made a Pentium 4 2.8 hyper-thread and a non-hyper-threaded one. If it's the hyper-threaded one, you're okay, but the ones that were non-hyper-thread, and especially when you get into the 3 gigahertz to like 3.4 gigahertz range, they tended to suffer from overheating problems because those Pentium 4s ran hot. Back when I had one of my first computer builds was a Pentium 4 3.4 gigahertz hyper-thread. To put it to you this way, when I had that computer, I never needed a heater for my room. That computer was the heater. XD Risey, can you eat more Aldi's or Mama Cassie's pizza? I love those videos for some reason. Food reviews make me so happy. Yeah, I can try to do that. Now, bearing in mind, we don't eat a lot of that kind of food anymore at all. But yeah, I'll put a mental note in there so we can try to do that. All right, tubers, I apologize, but I am going to have to end this because I am not feeling that well right now. Please pray for me. I don't know what's going on, but my voice, I'm losing my voice. I wake up in the morning, I can barely talk. I think it's just allergies, but if it lasts any longer than this, I'm probably going to go to the doctor and see if there's something he can give me. Hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Kind of weird with the glitch in the first part, but we were able to move on. Please continue to like and subscribe. Mark Covington says, Happy New Year to all of you. You as well, Mark. And I do want to get up with you sometime, probably after the new year. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.